Idaho ranks third in the nation for its total water use with over 17 million gallons per day. A large portion of this water is used for irrigating acres of crops. Now, water is critical in supporting key industries in Idaho. Agriculture is the single largest contributor to Idaho's economy, and water sustains it. Given its importance, water research at University of Idaho is helping maintain and improve the viability of irrigated agriculture right here in our state. So joining us to dig a little deeper is University of Idaho Assistant Professor. We have Meetpal Kukal. Great to have you here, Meetpal. You know, no question here, water is critical to the life in agriculture here in Idaho. Tell us a little bit more, though, about its importance in our state and the challenges that we're currently experiencing right now in regards to water resources.
Sure. So, like you said, water and its importance for agriculture in Idaho cannot be overstated. We have these amazing resources like the Snake River and the Eastern Snake Plain Aquifer, which is this huge underground storage of water. And these are really great economic engines for making and sustaining agriculture in Idaho. And when I say agriculture, I'm not really just mentioning crop agriculture, but also things like livestock, our dairy operations, fisheries, and also our reliance on hydropower in the state. Right?
Yes.
So given all of its importance, there's essentially no doubt that water is critical. Challenges-wise, probably the biggest challenge that we're seeing with these resources is diminishing water availability. So essentially, we just don't really have enough. And the reasons for this is essentially shifts in weather patterns. So even a good snowpack in the mountains melts way faster and earlier in the season when we don't need as much. So there is that supply and demand mismatch. The other part is, the reason is how we've changed our farming practices and how we apply water. And with that, I mean, what kind of crops are we growing? All the thousands of groundwater wells that we've put in since the 50s. And essentially, how do we apply water? So we've moved from something like flood irrigating to sprinkler irrigation.
Yes.
And that's changed the water budgets. So essentially, with all of that going into action, we are seeing rapid declines in the aquifer. So the groundwater levels are declining. And because we have this unique situation in the state where the surface and the groundwater are really tightly coupled, so any impacts that we see on one are trickled into the other one.
Yes.
Which means as you see those groundwater levels declining, that changes how and when water flows in the river too.
Yep. Yes, yeah. So we're actually seeing a reflection of it, if you will, pun intended, on the surface.
Exactly.
As well as whatever's happening below in those aquifers. Okay, obvious why this issue really matters. But let's talk, though, about why University of Idaho is researching it and how you're helping to address this.
Sure. So all these changes, like I said, they make an impact on the water budget.
Yes.
And probably one of the best things and fundamental things you can do to address these issues and find mitigation solutions is to get the science right and know what your water budgets look like. And when I say water budgets, what I mean to say is, where does the water go once it's applied on the field? Of all the different places the water could go to, probably the most important is the component of that water that gets evaporated from the crop and the soil. We call this term evapotranspiration, and this is what crops use in exchange for food production. And unlike water that's flowing in the canals or the rivers, or coming up the wells in conduits or pipes, this water is really hard to measure. Evapotranspiration is really hard to measure because it's water vapor. It's invisible.
Yes. Yep.
So of all the cool research that's happening at University of Idaho in respect to water, one of the things that my program's addressing is better measurement and quantification of this evapotranspiration.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that project then.
Sure. So essentially, we want to know where does the water end up in all these different pathways. How we're approaching this is a measurement model, which basically means we've deployed these really sophisticated and sensitive sensors at key locations across the southern plain. And what we're doing, what these sensors are at the very core, what they're doing is using physics and math to basically understand how ecosystems breathe, essentially. And when I say that, I mean how they let out water, that evapotranspiration, but also how they are letting carbon dioxide in that gets turned into food.
Yeah.
So all these dynamics are getting tracked every 30 minutes as these crops are planted, they mature, and they're harvested. And all that data that's being collected from all those sites right now as we speak are being transmitted to us in real time, as well as the growers that have these sensors on their fields.
Oh, wow.
And which is how we're essentially tracking where does that water end up.
Yeah, and how does this impact farmers then?
Good question. So anytime you have a good idea of what evapotranspiration looks like on a particular field, you are now strongly positioned to really spoon feed your water to your crops, which means how much water you need and when do the crops most need it. Because we're in this limited water availability situation, we gotta do a lot more work on really fine-tuning our water applications.
Yes.
And this data equips farmers with the tools and the knowledge they need to do so.
So you can water more efficiently.
Exactly.
And so I can imagine that's a better outcome too for those crops as well, right? Because then you're probably
Yes.
going to avoid overwatering and underwatering as
Right.
well. It's going to be a really specific application.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
that's
overall,
wonderful.
we don't only sustain water resources for the state, but also make sure that agriculture as an operation stays viable and profitable, actually.
Oh, love. Okay, where can people go to learn more about the work that you're doing?
So the University of Idaho website, that would be uidaho.edu. And more specifically, you can learn about all the cool water research being done at the school at the water resources page of that website.
Wonderful. Paul, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Greatly
you, Melissa.
appreciate it.